across low-lying areas as we get ready for yet another winter storm.
The state is bracing itself for a strong storm system. We're talking high surf and lots of rain by tomorrow.
SDG&E bills going up again dramatically. I'll tell you how much and what the company is saying today.
Plus, the mastermind of the college admissions bribery scandal learns his fate.
We're here at the Feral Cat Coalition, where nearly a dozen cats are getting spayed and neutered today, but they have a big ask from the community. These cats are lucky to be alive, and now they need you.
CBS 8 News Live at 6 starts now.
Governor Newsom is declaring a state of emergency tonight as California braces for a huge winter storm. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. Northern California will bear the brunt of the storm first this evening, while San Diego County will be hit by the atmospheric river overnight into Thursday's daylight hours. Tonight we have team coverage. Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis is here to let you know when and where you'll see the rain, wind, and high surf.
We start tonight with CBS 8's Kirsten Holmes, who joins us live from Mission Valley at one area that's really prone to flooding. Kirsten, what are you seeing out there right now?
Well, I can show you better than I can tell you. I'm here on Avenida Del Rio. I want you to take a look behind me. It's kind of dark, but there are some lights in the area. That is actually a blockade that the city has installed on this street to keep people from driving on this street. And if you take a look down, you'll see right closer to me why the street is blocked off. There's water from the San Diego River rushing across the street from one side to the other. And as we get ready for that winter storm, areas like this will see even more rain.
It's been raining for off and on again for the past week plus. So the city's been in storm preparation mode for a while now. Increased street sweeping, inspection, cleaning of critical drains that we know have debris that build up there. Putting no parking signs in low-lying areas and other areas that are prone to flooding.
Anthony Santacroce with the city of San Diego says they're doing everything they can to make sure the city is ready for the winter storm. And when it comes to downed trees and minor street flooding,
we also have our storm patrol that's ready to go during the rain, that actively patrols different areas throughout the city and responds to, non-life-threatening situations.
At least here in San Diego, I think we're going to be okay, but, those co-workers that I have in like San Francisco, Sacramento, they're feeling it for sure.
Jacob Quintero says while it might not be as bad here in Southern California, we will still have problems.
That parking lot gets flooded every single time it rains. Little rain, lots of rain, no matter what, it always gets flooded. I don't understand why they don't build a bridge over there, by Fashion Valley, going under the little section over there behind the parking lot. With all the new buildings here too and a lot of people moving into Mission Valley, that's definitely creating some problems around here.
Governor Newsom announced a state of emergency for California today to help mobilize the National Guard to respond to storm issues across the state. The city of San Diego says you can use the Get It Done app to report blocked storm drains, potholes, and broken streetlights. And you can report flooding to the city's emergency dispatch center. Shar says at this point, it's about personal responsibility because Southern Californians have all heard the warnings and should know how to get ready for a winter storm.
If you do not have four-wheel drive, you did not put on chains, where are you going to, Julian? Northern California, the same thing, 8 feet of snow in Reno, Lake Tahoe. If you don't live there and you don't know this, why aren't you prepared?
All right, so if you want to get prepared and you might need a sandbag, the city of San Diego is making sandbags available, but they say there is limited quantity, so you have to show proof of residency, and then you can get up to 10 sandbags. But those sandbags are not filled. You're going to have to buy your own sand. All right, so when will that rain move into our area? Let's get answers from Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis. Carlene, I know we are waiting on the rain, but
yes.
Girlfriend, the cold is here. The cold is already here.
But you look good in the coat, let me tell you. You rocking it. But yeah, that chill is out there. So we're talking about the 50s and 60s. That has not changed with the recent storm system. Still talking about the cool temperatures out there. But yeah, we are definitely talking about the rain that's set to move in. So roughly about 450 miles towards the northwest of San Francisco, we have the core low of this storm system. So it is a major storm system impacting across Northern California as I speak, and it's going to make its way closer towards us as we go into the overnight hours. So we could see the first wave of moisture moving moving in around 11:30 tonight with some light showers, but the heaviest rainfall is expected tomorrow morning through the afternoon hours. Now, we are going to be experiencing less rainfall than Northern California that will get the brunt of this. You're talking about 3 to 6 inches of rain, also talking about 3 feet of snow, highest peaks across the Sierras. For us, we are talking about a ½ inch to 1.5 inches, but that's still going to cause problems. Flooded roadways tomorrow during your morning drive, and then also talking about gusty winds they'll be picking up, and so we could be dealing with some downed trees as well. So we're going to break down all the advisories, watches, warnings, and time out the rain for you coming up. Carlo, Marcella.
Thanks, Carlene. And more dire warnings from the state's Office of Emergency Services and other first responders tonight.
Our political reporter Morgan Reiner has more on their message tonight and what they're doing as the storm first hits to the north of us.
A state of emergency means a lot of technical things like being able to access more funding or allowing out-of-state organizations to come into California to help if needed. But the main takeaway from the press conference this morning was to be prepared, stay home if you can. They said there's only so much the state can do before human behavior gets in the way.
There was no sugarcoating it.
We anticipate that this may be one of the most challenging and impactful series of storms.
Governor Gavin Newsom declared a statewide emergency Wednesday morning,
which provides additional authority and powers to rapidly deploy aid to impacted communities.
The director of the California Department of Water Resources is monitoring the potential of floods.
These kinds of events can trigger mudslides and significant debris flow, so be ready to evacuate as needed. We have dispatched flood fighting materials at 49 sites throughout the state.
California Highway Patrol says they are planning for an influx of 911 calls.
And we will have staff on. If we need to, we'll hold additional staff or mandate overtime to field the calls.
The state preparing for an incoming storm while crews on the ground still cleaning up from the last, like downed trees.
They're a bit overwhelmed, and so I think it'll take a little bit, but they're going to be busy for quite some time.
So they said multiple times,
stay off the roads if you can.
We're asking you to please stay home.
Stay home if possible.
Because there's only so much they can do.
You can't protect against everything. The flood response strategy to keeping people safe are the levees, but it's also human behavior.
Please do not ignore road closure signs or attempt to cross flooded roadways. This is extremely dangerous and an unnecessary risk. As little as 12 inches of water can cause a vehicle to start to float.
Cal OES rates these atmospheric rivers on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the most dangerous, and it's rated based off of the amount of rain and the duration of the rain. Over the last week, we saw 2 atmospheric rivers that were about a 3 and a 4. The one today, they said, is going to be a 3, but they said it's the wind here that's going to be the most challenging, especially because of the already saturated soils.
All right, Morgan, thanks. And you can show us the weather where you live by sharing photos and videos on the CBS 8 app. Just go to the Near Me section at the bottom and click on the Share With Us button. A new development tonight, in the meantime, in the civil lawsuit accusing former San Diego State punter Matt Ariza and other teammates of a gang rape at an off-campus house party. Attorneys for Ariza filed his official response in court today, proclaiming his innocence. Documents given to CBS 8 claim he is innocent of all charges and that all alleged relations between him and Jane Doe in this case were consensual. The lawsuit was filed last summer, and Ariza is asking that it be dismissed. Ariza's response comes after the San Diego District Attorney's Office decided last month not to bring charges against Ariza or the others accused, citing no path to a criminal conviction.
The man accused of intentionally setting fire to his own food truck business is now facing arson and insurance fraud charges.
Avante Hartsfield pleaded not guilty in court today. Prosecutors say he intentionally set his Rolling Roots food truck on fire in 2021. Hartsfield is also facing grand theft charges for raising more than $100,000 in donations under false pretenses. He is due back in court on March 7th.
The mastermind of the college admissions bribery scandal was sentenced today to 3.5 years in federal prison. Rick Singer spent more than a decade taking money from wealthy families to get their kids admitted to top universities.
As CBS 8's David Goffredson reports, one of the parents convicted in the Operation Varsity Blues investigation is the former owner of this television station.
Put What sentence do you think is fair?
Rick Singer faced a throng of news media Wednesday at federal court in Boston, where he arrived for sentencing as the mastermind of the college admissions bribery scandal. The 62-year-old pleaded guilty more than 4 years ago to conspiracy to commit racketeering, money laundering, obstruction of justice, and fraud for taking millions of dollars from parents to get their kids admitted to top universities around the country.
The conduct in this case was something out of a Hollywood movie. Wealthy, entitled parents paying for their children to secure admission to colleges using fake test scores, falsified resumes, and even staged or photoshopped pictures.
Singer has spent the past 4 years out of custody cooperating with prosecutors by secretly recording phone calls with parents, resulting in more than 50 convictions. The judge sentenced Singer to 3.5 years in federal prison.
The sentence would have been a lot higher, I think, if he had not cooperated. And so one of the messages of today's sentence is that cooperation is a powerful tool that we need to use.
Elizabeth, do you have any comments to make?
One of the convicted parents was Elizabeth Kimmel, the former owner of KFMB. Kimmel pleaded guilty to paying more than $500,000 to get her daughter admitted to Georgetown University and her son admitted to the University of Southern California. The judge sentenced Kimmel to 6 weeks in prison and 1 year of home confinement. She was released in February of last year, and she currently is serving home confinement in her 8,000 square foot penthouse in Las Vegas, according to court records. 2 months after her release, she filed a motion with the court asking for permission to travel to Illinois so she could attend her daughter's graduation from law school. Prosecutors opposed the motion, writing, "It would be a perverse result to allow the defendant to be released from custody to attend and celebrate the higher education accomplishments of her children, even though her fraud, bribery, and lies relating to her children's college admission are why she is serving a federal sentence as a convicted criminal in the first place."
I had absolutely no idea how corrupt and infected the admissions process was until this case exposed everything.
David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
The judge denied Elizabeth Kimmel's motion to travel to Illinois. She has about 1 month left on her home confinement term. Still ahead tonight, get ready for a higher SDG&E bill.
Plus, as California braces for another round from Mother Nature, other parts of the country are dealing with wild weather as well. Where this funnel cloud was caught on camera.
For the second day in a row, uncertainty over who will be the next Speaker of the House. I'm Nicole D'Antonio on Capitol Hill with the ongoing challenges for Republican leader Kevin McCarthy.